Welcome to the Decentral Gamer podcast. I'm your host, Ben, and today we have Mr. Forbet. What's going on, my man?
Nothing, man. Living that dream. How are you doing today, Ben?
Dude, I'm doing freaking awesome. Really appreciate you coming on and chatting today. I know you're also live streaming on your own Twitch, so shout out to your folks over there.
Thank you, man. They're extremely excited. We've been live for a couple hours, and I know everybody's been talking about it pretty much for the whole 2 hours.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, so would love to just dive into your background. Would love to hear really how you got to where you are today. Would love to understand the crypto side and then how you got into DG.
All right. Well, my backstory is I have been playing poker for almost 20 years. I'm a poker dealer by trade. I found DG over, I think, 3 months ago, and I was trying to get delegated for quite a while. Um, Eventually I found someone, we worked out a deal, and then yeah, we've been playing for now I think a month and a half. Absolutely love it. It's a great time. It's a great software. As someone who comes from the internet poker background, it gives you the internet poker feel, but also with more of the metaverse feel as well. um and yeah, I've been streaming on Twitch for over 3 years. Everybody really enjoys the content. My content is solely focused around helping people get better and improving their daily ice consumption. We got a YouTube page where I'm putting out videos, and yeah, I'm just your basic content creator, silly guy who likes to have good vibes and play a lot of poker, man.
And who has a completely righteous hat. I love that.
Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I love the aesthetic. So I love this because what I am so excited about is that you are showing the world that anybody can bring the legacy idea of streaming video games into crypto and Web3 in the metaverse. And to folks like us, I think it makes a ton of sense. Like, it's still video games. It's just new technology that's being used to create them and really interesting ways to monetize and in a couple of different dynamics. But at the end of the day, it's still, we're live streaming games, we're having a fun ass time, and like we're making money while we're at it. How did you come to the idea, or like what was the impetus for you to want to stream, and how did you really think that through?
Whew, man. So it's actually kind of a funny story how I started streaming. Literally almost 3 years ago to the week, I started streaming because my little brother was streaming Fortnite, and Apex Legends had just come out, and I was kind of cracked. All right, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but we were doing some cool stuff, and I was like, man, it'd be really cool to, like, have a way to create little videos to put on YouTube. And from there, man, we've streamed so many different games. Always went back to poker. It's kind of like where I live my life. I mean, as a poker dealer, my fiance is a poker dealer. We met in a poker room. My life literally revolves around poker. And then when I found out about DG, man, I was like, dude, this is it. Like, this is the vibe. I love the fact that you can play poker daily, earn crypto, but at the same time, you're not actually risking any money daily, right? When I go to work, I see people lose six figures. Okay. Like, I'm
Yeah.
talking, like, I deal some of the biggest poker games in the world,
Wow.
and it's disgusting, but at the
Mhm.
same time, it's just great. It's great content, and I get to sit back and watch it. But so yeah, I like to bring that to people, and yeah, streaming's just been, it's been everything and then some. I went from no viewers to 20 to none to now we're in the 40s and 50s with ice poker. Web3, DG, Decentraland. It's all just, I literally have it as the title of my page, that if play to earn games are the future, and if you're not in it now, you're going to be left behind. So
That's
thank
right.
you to DG, by the way. Thank you, guys.
I'm so inspired by hearing that story because and I feel like that is one of the common threads that unites all of us in the ecosystem is that we're like, "Oh my god, this is real, right?" Like, we're not dreaming here, like, this is a real thing. But it's amazing to me how much it's actually changing lives, and, yeah, it's just, I mean, I'm just so grateful for the founders and the people who are building and the devs and all that. Absolutely shout out and much love to them. So let's talk about poker a little bit more, and then I want to hop back into the metaverse. But on the poker side, what are some of the things that you're seeing as far as you've been dealing for a long time, you've been in poker? Like, what are the best people in the world doing to stand out as poker players that we can learn from and apply to now playing in DG?
That's a good question. I would say the people that I have found that are actually beating the game, one are honest about it, right? Because everybody can say, "Oh, I'm a winning poker player for a month," and you have one good month, this year.
Yeah.
But another thing, and the most important thing, is bankroll management. Bankroll management in poker is literally the key separator of anyone who plays for a living and plays for fun. Um, we have anywhere from 1-3 poker, which for those that don't know poker, when I say 1-3, I'm talking about the big blind, small blind, right? So 1-3 is kind of the smallest games that we offer. And we offer as high as 25, 50, 100. So there's three blinds, small blind, or the baby blind, we call it, is 25, middle blind is 50, big blind's 100. And yes, that's US. All right. So yeah, the guys that are in it for the long run and are, living what we like to call the hard, easy life are the ones that have the best bankroll management. And you can actually incorporate that into DG Ice big time. I notice a lot of people like to buy in for 400 chips at a time. And I hate to tell you, but that's not the play. You're not going to win enough pots buying in so small that you're going to have enough chips won daily to end up with a decent multiplier, which is the next topic of the next YouTube video, by the way. So yes, people with bankroll management by far are the ones that are in it for the long run.
So how do you think about sizing? Like, how do you think about sizing in DG specifically? Like, if 400's not the strat, what is?
So you have a lot of the people who stream. They love to buy in for 2K, right? They love to have the maximum amount of chips on the table. That way they can bully the 400 chip people, right? So I think that that is really close to the right play. In my personal opinion, I think 1,000 chips is perfect because it allows you to not necessarily worry about, okay, well, if I get stacked because I missed a big draw, big flush draw, straight draw combination, I flop a set and someone beats me with a flush, and they have us out stacked. Well, you still have three bullets, right? And if you can't get it done in ice poker with three bullets, because overall the competition is soft. You can tell a lot of people don't are new to poker. This is one of their first introductions into poker, right? They're into crypto and they know that, oh man, this is a good investment, which it, not a financial advisor, but it is a really good way to earn some passive income. Um so yes, three bullets. It gives you plenty of opportunity for play, mixing up your play, as well as if you do get unlucky, it's not the end of the world. You still have a couple more bullets behind you. And if you were to win, if you were to get lucky, win a couple pots, double up your 11 to 1200, well, you're really only, halfway there to securing at least a 1.5 to 1.75 multiplier on the day, as long as you finish, your challenges, which can be, which can be a headache all on its own.
So we have JQ here in the chat. Want to give a shout out to people that are watching live. And JQ saying, "I check in with 400 until I complete all challenges. Then I focus on multiplier." What are your thoughts on that?
It's not a bad strat. I guess if you have the time, right? If you like I don't know. I have a family, I have a job, and I do other projects on the side. So I guess if you have that extra time where, sometimes taking beating your challenges takes 5 hours, right? So you're telling me you're gonna put 5 hours aside just to beat your challenges, which granted sometimes it could be an hour, but sometimes it's five. Sometimes you don't even get them done. So then you're gonna add extra time to win big pots. I just overall it seems like you must have a lot of time, and that's great. It's not a terrible idea because then you're chasing those straights and flush draws. You miss, you lose 400 chips. Oh well, what is that? 7.85 of your stack. So I mean, I guess if you have the time, but I don't know.
So the strat is to have bigger buys because from a time perspective, and it gives you enough, like it helps you, it gives you enough bullets in the chamber to where you can do what you need to do, and you can do it in a reasonable time. It's kind of the
Exactly.
strat.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Time management for sure. Just like JQ just said there. Yes. If you well, you have an open schedule, so that's really nice. Yes. But I would say the majority of players are probably around I don't know exactly how old you are, sir, and I'm not gonna put a number on you. But I would say we're probably around our age, right? Those family people or whatnot. So yeah, 3, 4, 5 hours might be all that they have to put into a daily session. Maybe on the weekend you can grind for a little bit longer, right? I've noticed on Saturdays and Sundays to get that 2x, it's a lot more chips than it is, during the week where people aren't sitting there and just grinding and grinding and grinding it out. So yeah, I guess, if you have the time, that's fine. But if you're trying to just, get in there, knock out your challenges, get a good multiplier, 4 to 5 hours, I feel like is a perfect amount, and buying in for a third of your stack is really good. Is a really good way to get that done.
Yeah, and I'm about 57, so I might be a little.
57.
Just kidding, just kidding. I'm only 27, but
Okay, okay. I've
yeah.
got you
So,
by almost a decade.
well, you know what? In crypto, we're all
Hey, that's
we're all
true.
PFPs
Hey,
and
that ain't no
avatars
lie.
anyways, so it's all good. Cool, man. So let's talk a little bit about the. I want to keep drilling down into poker and just try to bring over some principles from IRL poker onto or into DG. So, bankroll management, we kind of covered that. Time management, we kind of covered that. Let's talk about like reading the room and trying to understand like how to play and how to adjust your play based on who you're playing against or playing with. I know you mentioned it seems like the competition's a little bit soft right now. That'll probably change over time as people get more and more sophisticated. But maybe give us kind of like your short term strat of what's working now. From the poker world to be applied into DG, and then where you think that's going to go long term.
Oh, that's very good, very good. So, my personal opinion, and I do cover this on the YouTube, is simply position and aggression. You want to be a tight, aggressive poker player, whether it's live or it's online. You're gonna earn a lot more money the tighter you play, period, and the more aggressive you are. Um, as far as reading the room, if you go to a table and you can't figure out who the donkey is at the table, then that's probably you. It, it's a statement that I heard over 20 years ago, and to this day, it still stands. Um, yes, it still stands. Um, another statement that I heard 20 years ago that still stands is if you're not getting caught bluffing, you're not bluffing enough. Texas Hold'em, man, you get two cards. There's three cards on the flop. It's very hard to hit a pair, especially if the board is paired. So any hand that's worth a call pre-flop is worth a raise. Um, you know, tight aggressive, man. Just pick your spots, play better positions, um, and be aggressive. That is poker 101 right there. Like you're gonna win more. You're gonna win more. You're gonna get in some tougher spots, but you're gonna win more by being
so
aggressive.
so tight and yet aggressive. There's almost a little bit of a almost a little bit of conflict almost in that idea. Maybe you could break that down for us a little bit more. Like, what exactly do you mean by tight? And then maybe we could drill more down into like how to actually be aggressive as well.
Absolutely. Tight hand selection, position selection. It's not so much about the hands that you play. Sometimes it's about where you're playing. You need to play, you want to play the majority of your hands where you have the better position against your opponents. And the way you figure that out is where the button is and where you are in accordance to the button. Um, like I said, I go over this in extensive volume in my last YouTube video, Mr. Forbet on YouTube. But yes, where your position is enormous. You want to have the reason why position is so important is because you get that free information. And what do I mean by that is after the flop, if you have position on your opponents, you get to see if they want to bet or if they want to check. That is free information. You cannot beat free information. So tight, not only with your hand selection, but also your position. Aggressive. When you are coming into a pot, you don't need to be coming in calling. You need to be coming in raising. You need to put people to the test. You need to put pressure on your opponents. Poker is a war. It's not a game. It's a legitimate war. And the war is to see who can get the most chips. So when you're coming in the pot, you need to be coming in raising. If someone raises and you have a hand that you want to play and you're in position, fine. That's fine if you want to call there. But if if the hand is worth calling, the hand is worth raising. There's no reason to be playing little pots. You're wasting your time. Nobody has 20 hours to play ice poker, right? You need to be coming in raising. You need to put your opponents to the test. You need to, it's hard to hit a pair on the flop. It's really hard, especially if the board is paired. Bet. You'll be surprised at how many pots you take down by being aggressive. And then once the table starts to play, okay, so this guy is betting. Well, then it's time. Okay, when you actually have it, be even a little bit more aggressive. That way you get paid even more because they're going to assume that you don't have it because you've been playing, what they consider reckless. But in reality, what it is you're just playing tight aggressive.
So what sort of hands are you like? Do you have a chart where you're like, okay, with these hands, I go aggressive. With these hands, I'm no. Like, is this math for you? Or are you just kind of feeling it based on what's going on the table around you? Or like, how do you, when you first see your cards, like what goes through your mind? What do you think there?
Well, the first thing I think is where am I at on the table? Okay. And position. That's the very first thing I think of. Um, the better position I have, the wider range of hands I'm going to play. So, for what I mean by that is when you are first to act, meaning you got the big blind on your right, and you're very first to act pre-flop. The hands that you play in that position have got to be the best, tightest hands that you'll ever play in any position because pre-flop you have the worst position. Okay. So from that position, you need to be playing nothing but quality hands when you come in because, like I said, you're never going to you should be raising if you're coming into the pot. And if you're going to be raising, you need to have a strong hand. And that position, it is imperative that those are the best hands you play, period. Fold those ace sixes, ace sevens, ace nines, get all that junk out of your range because in that position, your range needs to be those top 4 to 5% hands. Now we're moving around the table. Okay, so the next position, okay, you can open your range just a little bit more. Okay, just a little bit more. You raise with a little bit weaker hands. And as you go around the table till you get to the button, when you're to the button is like the button is like having home field advantage in football. You get an extra 3 points for having the button. All right. You have the button. You have now got the ultimate range of hands that you want to play, period. Me, and I even tell people this when I'm streaming, don't do what I do because I play an extreme range of hands on the button. Almost excessive. Probably excessive. So when I'm on the button, I'm the most aggressive I'll ever be when I'm at the table because I know no matter what, I'm gonna get free information after the flop, no matter what. Um, so yes, the first thing I think of is where am I at position wise. The next thing I think of is where am I at chip wise? Am I already up to 3,000 chips? If I'm already up 2 or 3,000 chips on the day, there's no need for me to gamble. At that point, I'm just trying to get my challenges done and get out of there, right? Because if you win 3,000 chips, you're going to be in the top 15% minimum. So, earning 440 ice for free, uh, that's not bad. That's not bad. So there's no need to, it just depends. So the first thing I look at is position. Second thing I look at is where am I at chips wise. And then third thing I think of is my actual hand. Because for the most part, a lot of times I'm not playing the cards. I'm just playing position and players. I make the same move with ace queen on the button that I would make with deuce six, because it doesn't matter what you have. It matters what goes around you.
That's fascinating. Yeah, I think that's a big shift for people who aren't really used to poker.
Mhm.
I mean, they're probably going to play like very different than that. I mean,
Right.
that's a very aggressive style. And when somebody's coming in and you're banging your chest and raising them and pushing them around, like, I mean, they're probably just gonna bleed chips to you.
Yeah, that happens a lot. I definitely have a really good average ice a day, but there are definitely times where, I mean, heck, even earlier, we played a hand where I had jacks. I had a real hand, which is shocker. And I lost 1,500, 1,100 chips that hand because on the river a bad card came. That's poker, right?
That
It does.
happens.
It doesn't matter. Like overall, you're still gonna have those coolers, right? And a cooler is when you have a really strong hand. You just get super unlucky. Either they have a stronger one, or you get rivered, or whatever the case may be. So poker is still gonna happen, right? But the way that you what's the word I'm looking for? The way that you counter poker is by picking up more pots. And the way you pick up more pots is by playing tight aggressive. Even winning a small pot is better than losing a big pot. There's nothing wrong with winning small pots, because that shiz adds up. All right. One second you're sitting there with 1,000. Next thing you've picked up 4 or 5 little 60, 70 chip pots, and you're sitting there with 14, 1,500. And then you get into that big pot, and had you had not picked up those chips, you probably would be sitting at 7 or 800. Now you're sitting at 14, 1,500, and you stack someone who has 1,000. Well, you wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? So all those little pots matter. Every pot matters. Every single pot matters. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I wanna hop back for a second about the donkey comment. If you can't identify it, it's probably you.
Mhm.
What happens if you can't identify it, you remember what we've talked about, you think, "Uh-oh, it's probably me." What do you do when you are the donkey?
Man, that's a good question. I I would say that if you feel like you're outmatched at a table, there's nothing wrong with getting to a different table. DG offers thousands of tables in 4 different poker rooms now. If your table is a little too tough, and unless you want to push yourself, nothing wrong with backing up and going to another table, at all. Um, at all.
So let's first of all, Austin, what up? What up? Appreciate you tuning in while you're in class in college right now. Probably getting a better education with DG than anything else. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about how um even if you are the donkey and let's say for whatever reason you don't want to move tables, right? Like you want to, for whatever reason, push yourself, you want to learn, you want to take your skills to the next level. There could be an argument for, let me just play with better people. I may get thrashed, but I'm going to learn a lot. Like, how would you go about if you're outclassed learning from that experience and trying to minimize how badly you get dunked on while maximizing your learnings so you can become a better player?
I would say is emulate what people are doing, the winners. Emulate what the winners are doing. And if you sit back and you really sit back and just watch the game rather than, call, fold. If you sit back and watch, you'll notice the people that are winning the pots are the ones that are more aggressive and are in better position. It always boils down back to that, always. There's a story of a very famous poker player, professional poker player, who played an online tournament blind, put a piece of paper over their computer. All they did was play position and feel, and they won that tournament. And that was not a cheap tournament. So it always boils back to having that free information, that is that's exactly why that was my first video I came out with, and I hear it every single day on Twitter, on YouTube, on and live in the stream, that video has helped people so much because they realize, wow, I've been playing so bad because I'm never in position. I never even thought of it. And that thought process never made sense, right? Or no one's ever explained that to me. So that's why we started the YouTube channel. We started it to help people get better. It's better for everyone, to be honest. It makes it better content for the stream, and it gets people earning more ice, which is the grand scheme of the whole thing anyway, right? It's to have fun playing a game, but at the same time, it's a play to earn game. And if you want to get better, man, there's so much content out there that you can watch to get better. So many books, and yeah.
What are some of those top resources as far as books go, or like just staples of just powerhouse poker principles?
So a young man by the name of Texas Doyle Brunson wrote the Bible of poker. Um, I want to say it's literally called we call it the Bible of poker. Doyle Brunson book. The super system. The super system. It was like one of the very first poker books ever made. And it's phenomenal. And the principles that are instilled in that book are still used today. And when it all boils back down to is playing tight and aggressive. Excuse me. And then you have a lot of new school things, like there's training websites that you can go to that are phenomenal, that'll help you be a better tournament player. Because when in the grand scheme of things, you could almost call what DG does as a tournament, right? It's not necessarily a cash game, but it is, because you can buy and rebuy and pull back, which hopefully I eventually hope they take that away. But the overall premise is kind of centered around being a poker tournament. So, how do you maximize your chips and whatnot? So there's a lot of good websites, a lot of good books. But if I were anyone who's really interested in learning, kind of like the building blocks of being a better poker player, Super System, amazing book, good read.
Love it. So let's talk a little bit more about how you got involved in DG in the beginning. And I know we touched on it a little bit. I know you and I talked a little bit before we started streaming, but would love to really hear the story of like how you got to the point where you're playing, and then I want to talk about optimizing earn skis as well.
Yeah, so I started I think I found DG about three months ago. Um I was streaming shooting games and I was sick of it. And I had enough. I almost quit streaming completely. Because I just wasn't having fun. And
Whoa.
then I found a game called Gods Unchained, and I found um the play to earn area, metaverse, all this stuff, sandbox. And then I was hooked. I was like, "Oh my goodness, you can play games and you can earn, crypto and and NFTs." And so I started diving down that hole, and then I don't remember exactly the tweet that I saw this game, but once I did, I was hooked, and I found the Discord, and then it was literally thank you for that. I appreciate that, JQ. It was literally just, okay, I got to find a delegator, right? Because, as someone me personally, I wasn't able to spend. I think at the time it was like 1.5 ETH to get my own wearable. Because I'm paying for a wedding here in a couple of months, right? So, yeah, all that extra bread is going straight to this wedding in Vegas. So
Congrats, by the way.
thank you, man. We scheduled it 3 years ago, and then COVID hit, and then it's been kind of a roller coaster since. But it'll be nice to knock that out, and then you know get back into doing funner stuff. Not funner stuff, but having that extra money. So we found the DG Discord, and at first, man, it was tough. It was really tough few months ago. There wasn't as many owners looking for players as there are now. Now, I say this literally in my stream every day that if you're looking to play and you're not on Twitter, like you're literally missing out. I retweet 7 to 8 times a day people looking for people to play on their wearables because it's just so the word is out, right? People know now. It's like, oh my goodness, this is without a doubt the best play to earn game out there. I challenge any other game to do what DG is doing right now. So we found DG, was in the Discord for a while, tried really, really, really hard to get a delegator, and then I was just like, it's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen, and it's fine. Month later, I found a couple of streamers who were playing. And I was like, oh man, I wanted to play this so bad, and it just never really worked out. And they pointed me in the right direction, and I got a hold of someone, and we have built a really good working relationship. He's a really, really, really cool guy. I convinced him to get multiple wearables, so now he's got plenty of players playing under him. Like it just has been working out extremely well.
Can you take us through that conversation of like, what did you say to him in order to like seal the deal?
Yeah, for
Let's hear
sure,
some
for
of these
sure.
sales skills.
So the first thing I did was I stopped sounding like a bot. When you look at the ICE looking for a delegator thread, it literally sounds like 800,000 bots, right? It's the same spiel. It's the same thing. It's just it's a bunch of bots. So I was in the Discord one day, and someone literally posted, or my delegator posted, "How do you tell the difference between all of these bots and real people?" So I messaged him. I was like, "Look, man, I'm a real person." And that's literally how our conversation started, right? And I directed him to my stream, and we talked for a while, and I was just like, look, man, like I wanted to get my own wearable anyway. Like that was what I want, and that's what I'm going to do. It's not a want, I'm going to get my own wearable. But I would like to try out the game for a little bit just to see if it's ran correctly. And what I mean by ran correctly is, as someone who I have made a living playing online, I have, like I said, 20 years of poker experience, which is ridiculous. I wanted to make sure that the game ran smoothly and it wasn't just some janky, thing, because I had really not watched people play and whatnot. And then I also, at that point, it was 70-30 for a level 1. And I was like, look, man, I'll even go 50-50 with you. It's not about the ice. I don't care about the ice. I just want to test out the game. And so yeah, we did that for a while. And then it was like, dude, you're killing it for me. Why don't you just keep whatever? Like, we don't need to do 50-50 anymore. It's like, okay, that's fine. And then the stream started blowing up more and more. And then yeah, it's been great. So if my suggestion to anyone looking to get delegated is just keep it real, be real. Don't just post oh, I've been playing for X amount of years, and the same thing that every single bot posts, right? Just be more personable. Don't be afraid to get told no. What is that going to do? Really, and check Twitter, because every single day I could go on my Twitter right now, I'll find you 10 people looking for people to play. And when you get that opportunity, do your best.
I love that. Now, what did you do when you first started and you didn't really know how it all worked?
Mm-hmm.
How did you learn it? How'd you figure it out? And maybe you could break down for us, because some of the folks may not even be that familiar with all the mechanics of how everything works. So maybe you could break down for us how you learned it and then how it works.
Absolutely. So the first thing I did was I went and watched Sir Drop Bear TV. Shout out to him. He's the man from down under. Great streamer. I went and watched him stream, and because I like to watch late night streams, and he's from Australia and he streams at night. So I went and watched him, and I basically just asked him about it. Like, hey man, what's how does it work? And then he kind of broke down the simplicities, right? Well, first you log in, you go find a table, which can be a nightmare, but wink wink, we might be getting something awesome very, very soon. If you guys don't know, Twitter. Anyway, if you don't know, Twitter. So find your table, you can buy in for this and this, and then at that point, I don't even remember if there was the 2x, 3x, 4x. I almost think it was just the slider or something. And then they incorporated the 2 or 3x. But yeah, and then like I said, I as someone who had been playing even online poker for I think I started playing online poker at the same time I started playing poker back in 2003. It was really, really easy to pick up, and they made it to where it's so customer friendly. The game, it's really simple. It's really simple. They put all the buttons right there in front. Yeah, assigned seating. Yes, please. They put all the buttons right there in front of you. You can go first person mode, so you can really see your cards. You can see the cards that are on the board. Yeah, sometimes there's a little bit of lag or a little bit of glitchiness here and there. But honestly, over the last few weeks, I very rarely see anything. That was more during the very, very beginning when I played. But yeah, they've made it so customer friendly now that anybody should be able to pick it up, instantly figure out what's going on, especially if you come from a poker background where you've played before. Not even like someone who's played a lot, just where you've played before. They even tell you what your hand is, right above your cards. It's very uncommon. So yeah, it's really nice.
So obviously you stream, and I feel like all streamers are like ready to go at any time. Do you want to stream a little bit of gameplay right now?
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me? I got challenges to do.
Let's do it.
Oh,
Let's do it.
All right, bet.
Let's do it. And then that way, instead of like talking us through the different mechanics, you can just show us.
Okay.
And like if somebody has no freaking clue how to like do it and play and whatnot, then we can rock and roll. And then they can be caught up to speed here.
So I would assume I just share my screen that I'm gonna be doing it on.
Yes, sir.
Chrome tab, Decentraland.
All right. You ready for me to add it to the stream?
I think so.
All right. Just pop it on here. All right. We're seeing wings and some sweet kicks. And a sweet hoodie. Hey,
Yeah, that is my hoodie. Shout out to Mr. J and Mr. W. They are some of the best wearable creators in the game. And they made me a Mr. 4Bet hoodie. And I gotta say, after playing video games for over 30 years, to see something with my name on it, I kind of teared up a little bit. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
That's amazing.
It was a really, really cool, insane thing that happened, and it's definitely something that as a quote unquote boomer, that I never thought that I would see that. So
all right, shout out we see some Pepes, some Frogs. We're in the strongholds here. Maybe talk us through like what we're seeing, what's going on here.
Absolutely. So right now we decided to jump into the stronghold. It's my poker place of choice that I like to play. There are 4 different rooms that you get the option of playing. If you ever want to see those, all you have to do is go find an open table, see other servers, click it, and it will show you all 4 rooms that are available. Um, we're going to try and find a seat in here, but let's just say, for example, that we can't find a seat. We'll go Stronghold, and then we have, what is this, 10 different servers to choose from to find a seat. So they definitely give you all of the opportunity in the world to, get going, get sat down, and play. So now the fun part is finding your seat, okay? And you'll notice that, well, it looks like this seat is open, right? There's no character here. Well, it's actually not true. Not all the avatars pop up. Based upon, I believe it's a setting about how many avatars will pop up in your area. I keep mine lower than the normal, I would suspect, because I'm streaming and I don't want there to be any lag. Oh, we got lucky. So as you can see, that card was glowing. So that is an indicator of us being able to take that seat. We are in first person mode. You can push, this will be the mode that you're in. Love that hoodie. Anyway, you push V, the letter V, and it puts you in first person mode. And then basically you just wait on your turn.
And so talk us through how, in the available chips section,
Okay.
I feel like people are going to be wondering, like, for the beginners, like, how did you get those chips? What did you have to do in order to get those to be able to play?
Absolutely. So let's just even take it a step back further. Let's just go ahead and just explain exactly how ice poker works. So the only way that you are able to play is by having an ice poker NFT. Thank you, MetaBill. I appreciate that. The way there's 2 ways of getting one, right? You can buy one off of OpenSea. Well, I guess there's technically 3. You can mint one when it's, mint day, or you can be delegated one. Once you have your NFT, then you are allotted 3,000 chips per 24 hours. 5-2 in the worst position. We're not playing that. So you're allowed 3,000 chips in 24 hours as your starting available chips. Now, obviously, I have more because I've already won 1,100. Okay. That's cute. That does not happen very often. In fact, hardly ever. So I wonder if it's because I have a few too many things going on.
This is the fun of doing things live. Here, while you figure that out, I'm gonna pop that off the screen just for now, just so we can get back to chatting a little bit.
I hope it's not because of the live stream. Because you know what? This tab content is being shared. That is a possibility because that never happens when I'm streaming.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well that's fine. Look,
I'm gonna restart it, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so let's a Moonboy saying second tab must be closed. Maybe that's
second tab. You talking about my marketplace? I'll close it, but that normally is not the case. Try another browser. Most likely 2 windows with the same session is open. There's definitely not 2 sessions open right now on the same browser.
Well, anyway, so maybe let's just keep going. I know I sprung this on you at the last second, so maybe just keep going, talking about like how you get started, how to get your chips, how to actually sit down and play.
Not a problem. So once you have your NFT, you, like I said, you pick one of those 4 poker rooms to play in. And then it comes to the point of actually finding your seat, right? I showed you a little bit about how it works, but it's really simple. You kind of just, walk around the room, see if there's a glowing poker card that's either floating in the air or on the actual table. Pick it, and then, it asks you how many chips you would like to buy in for. Currently right now with Ice Poker, you have the option of buying in for 400 to 2,000 chips. So whatever you feel you want to buy in for, you have that option. And then after that, it's just literally poker. It's you wait for your turn, the game, Like I said, you're allotted 3,000 chips to start your day, and you can get more if you have multiple wearables. So every wearable that you have either delegated to you or that you own and you're playing on, you get an additional 500 chips. So if you have two wearables, 3,500 chip starting stack. If you have three, 4,000, so on and so forth.
And so maybe you can explain the idea of challenges and multipliers.
Absolutely. So, if you want to, real quick, you can go back to. I can share my screen. Let's
Yep.
see.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, Chrome tab, Decentraland, share. If we get the multiple thing, it is what it is. It's definitely that. So every day you get 3 challenges. Okay, and based upon your challenges, after you complete your challenges, how you actually earn your crypto, aka ICE. Each challenge is worth X amount of ICE. So for example, today I have my challenge work very simple. See the turn 15 times, win the hand 10 times, get 3 of a kind 3 times. After we complete each one, we get ICE. And then the way that you determine your final ICE count is this little leaderboard right here. So as you can see, it's broken down in percentages, 0 to 5, 6 to 10, 11, 15, 16 to 20, so on and so forth. And what that means is the people who have finished in the top 5% of chips won in 24 hours will receive the top multiplier, which is 2x. So right now, to get in that top 5%, you have to win 3,620 chips. That'll go up as the day goes on. In order to get in that top 5%. You need to win 2580 to get in the top 10 and get a 1.75, so on and so forth as we go down the multiplier list. So you take your ICE that you earn from your completion, from your challenges, you take your multiplier based upon how you finish, and then the very, very last thing is each wearable has a extra percentage of ICE that you earn. For example, I have a level 3 that earns me an additional 24%. So you take all of that math into consideration, and that is your expected ICE earnings of the day.
That's amazing. And so for your strat, are you looking to complete challenges and then get into a certain multiplier tier, or like what are your, like when are you done for the day? When do you say, all right, I did what I needed to do?
When I'm done for the day is when I've won 3,000 chips or more and all my challenges are complete. If you can win 3,000 chips, you're almost guaranteed to be in the top 10%. Sometimes it'll fall in that top 15. But you're guaranteed to get one of the top 3 percentages, which in turn gives you one of the top 3 ICE multipliers.
I love that. And so you finish all your challenges, you hit the multiplier that you want, and roughly as far as earn skis go, where does that usually put you on the day for ICE?
Absolutely. So obviously ICE is a crypto and crypto fluctuates. I believe right now it's like 13 cents, maybe 12.8. So when I finish in the top 5%, I earn 441 ICE based upon my wearable and my percentage that I get from being a delegate. So 441 ICE, I believe, is like $60. I believe. Calculating. 441 times 0.12 is 53. Oh wow, $53. So if you get in the top percentage, you have the level wearable that I have, you earn $53, and that obviously goes down and down depending upon what multiplier you get for the day.
And so that's, let's just call that $50 a day, and you could do that every single day.
Every single day. Every single day. And another thing that you have to take in mind is the fact that I don't even own the NFT. So I have actually put no money into the I don't know what you want to call it, into the pool, I guess. So I'm not even earning all of the percentage. If I were to be earning all of the percentage, as in I got the NFT, it is my NFT, then we're looking at $80-$90 a day. with you playing on your NFT.
And so, what's your split right now with the gentleman who's delegating to you?
I think a level 3 is 57-43 in favor of the player.
That's amazing. So,
Mhm.
he's pretty much making roughly the same, a little bit less, and you guys have like this amazing partnership, and y'all are just both cleaning house with this every day.
Correct. Correct.
That's amazing. So let's I'm gonna put you
Okay.
back on the main screen here. Um, and I know we're getting close to time. We're almost up here, but yeah, let's talk a little bit about like your plans in the DG ecosystem, because I mean it's amazing what's possible. Um, it seems like the long-term strat would be get your own wearables, build your own delegation, your own little guilds, and then just kind of rinse and repeat. Is that your plan? Like, how do you plan to really grow and evolve within the DG ecosystem?
Absolutely. That is a great question. So, my overall plans are to eventually have a 5 to wearables. Um, I'm going to be giving away a couple of delegations live on stream every day. And then I'm going to have a set in stone group of players, which will include myself, that play, that are my best earners. And then give people a shot live on stream, because a lot of people haven't gotten a shot, and you never know what they can do. Right. So if you were able to give someone a shot, they do really well. They can take that information, that stat, and give that to someone who's looking for a long-term delegation, that could really help someone out. So my immediate goal is to get, obviously 1 to 2. Right after the wedding, I'm literally going to start pounding DG, and I'm going to have a couple wearables. I'll play on my own. I'll delegate on my stream as we build up ice and whatnot. Get more wearables, have long-term players, as well as, I always want to delegate on the stream, because I feel like, giving people an opportunity is what happened to me. Why would I not do it for someone else? You know, um, keep that good vibes, good stuff just flowing.
Amazing. Love it. Well, Mr. Forbett, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. I know I sprung the screen share on you kind of at the last minute. We didn't talk about that, so I appreciate you being
Mhm.
flexible with it, and showing us a little bit around some of the in-game stuff. Maybe next time, come back on the show, and maybe we could play a couple hands,
Mhm.
and do be a little. I'll give you a little bit more heads up on that. But appreciate you sharing your story, taking us through some poker ideas, some poker strat, the DG strat, the ice poker ecosystem, and how to get up and running. You're the man. Appreciate you.
You're very welcome, man. I had a great time. When this got posted on Twitter, man, I was actually praying that I could get the opportunity to speak. And yeah, I was when I got the email, man, I was from ear to ear, ear to ear.
Awesome. Well, definitely made the most of it, and you killed it today. So appreciate you, man. And to everybody watching and listening, just want to show some love to the chat real quick. JQ, appreciate you, buddy. Toomey, he's been on the pod before. What up? What up? Moon Boy, appreciate you. Austin again. Austin, Austin coming from his college class right now. Yeah, appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate everybody on the stream. Thank you again, Mr. Forbet. And game on, party people.